Welcome. How you guys doing? All right. So, it's time for episode 3. So, episode 3, we are going to name it love. It doesn't mean you need a significant other. You can show yourself love. And that's what we're here for. All right. Hope you had a great weekend, great time. Let's go ahead and keep it going. So, love. Straight to the point. I feel that many of us, we've had young parents where they were still learning themselves. So a lot of the times we didn't really get to know as children what a healthy love was and maybe still is if your parents haven't fully grown. There's a book, it's called Immature Parents or something like that. I'm gonna put it on the info so that you guys can get it. It's a great book too. It also teaches about boundaries and stuff, but I'll share with you, just look at the comments because I share everything that makes this episode what it is. So everything, I like to put it in there so that you can go ahead and look for it yourself. You can read it, you can research. Like I always say, you got to question things yourself. You got to process things yourself through your own mind, your own brain, okay? So if we are the ones in control of our minds, right? That was the first episode. Then we went to the second, which is healness. We gotta take ownership of everything that we have inside of us, whether that's good, that's bad, healthy, unhealthy, whatever that may look like. So when it comes to love, a lot of the times we're not doing step 1 and step 2 because we're afraid. Right? No one has taught us how to properly go about it. It's hard. Where do I start? How do I love myself? Maybe and again, this is just a lot of the time Spanish households. You have the man that drinks too much, cheats on the wife, maybe beats on her every so often, or it's typical, right? I'm describing what the typical thing is, right? Now, it doesn't mean that it's only Spanish, but I'm Spanish, so I can only speak about that. But it doesn't mean that you can't unlearn what you saw. Because a lot of the times, parents think that because they never told you, like maybe your dad, right? Hey, son, you're supposed to drink to get drunk. You're supposed to beat on your wife when you feel like it. You're supposed to cheat and, sleep around, whatever you want. Maybe nobody sat you down and actually told you that. Maybe your dad never told you, hey, son, we're going to sexualize women all the time. Maybe you were never sat down and spoken to like that. You know what I mean? But it's you learning from their behavior. And that's what a lot of children and into adulthood, we are adults now, so that's what we were taught. Majority of the time, especially if you had immigrant parents, you didn't really have that much time with them because they were constantly working, right? They were constantly going out and about trying to get a wage. So the few moments that you got to spend with them is body language. You saw them come back in from work. How do they react to a tired day? So it's those things that we were taught on how to love. We were also taught at that point, how did they love themselves, right? How did they react to a stressful day? How did they react when they were having a really bad day? What did they do? Oh, well, my dad always went and grabbed a beer and kept drinking throughout the night until he fell asleep on the couch. Right? That's a lot of us. A lot of us have that. There are so many different examples that we were given as children. but that was teaching us what love is. The thing is, and this whole drinking and cheating, that goes vice versa. There are females that do that too. I'm not just trying to talk about men only. No, I mean, there's a lot of women that cheat too. And the funny thing is that a lot of the times they seem so perfect. Like, you would never think she is doing that to the man that's actually faithful and hardworking, but yet they still are. So again, they were not able to be healed. They didn't do step 1 and step 2. So then they can't do step 3, because an important thing, which I have it here because I found it so fantastic, again, fantastic, is we can't practice something physically if we haven't practiced it mentally first, right? So you gotta first practice it mentally to be able to practice it physically, put it into the works. For example, I did sports. So let's say you're playing soccer, right? Football. You're out and about, you're trying to get something new, a new, game plan going. Hey, I'm gonna pass it to you, you pass it, and then, like, you gotta visualize that, right? You gotta put it in your mind, and you gotta be like, okay, hold on, how's it? Okay, so when you, all right, and you guys, what do you guys do? Then you put it into practice. You practice the play. So it's the exact same thing. You gotta work on here first before you can put it into practice, physical practice. Let's say, a big one that I get a lot of the times, especially from my male buddies, my men out there, they tell me, bro, I don't want to sexualize women, but my eyes just go straight to their eyes and their boobs, and I'm just like, woo, woo, I do that little checkup, they pass by, and then woo, do the little turnaround, but I don't want, like, and then especially for my buddies that have kids now, that have daughters, they're like, fuck, like, I hate that I was that way, because now I'm thinking they're gonna do that to my daughter. Like, so how you show up for yourself is how you're gonna be able to get rid of a lot of things that you're like, I want to get rid of. So for example, we wanna do it mentally first and then physically. So the example that I just gave, sexualizing, right? You know yourself. You've already autopilot your brain, your body, to react a certain way when a woman's walking by, right? Or when she's about to, or if you see it, whoop, turn around, distract yourself, because you already know what you're gonna do. Distract yourself. If you're on too much of an autopilot and you're staring and you're like, oh, catch yourself. It's okay. It's gonna take time. Don't force yourself to do it right away, because it's not gonna happen. Okay. And at the end of the day, the most important thing I want you guys to really look at and really think about, which again, my little notes over here save me because they keep me in check. When it comes to not being taught not healthy love, right? Toxic. Just because it feels familiar, it doesn't mean that that's healthy. And that goes back to like what we were taught as children. A lot of the times our parents were young themselves. They didn't know how to love themselves yet. And they were just going through the motions. And there was just repeated patterns that you can stop if you do step 1, if you do step 2, if you do step 3, right? You gotta do the work. You got to do the work that your parents, first of all, weren't given the time to, didn't even know it existed. Especially back then, nobody knew about healthy love. But, so let's go ahead, focus on that. Remember, we can't put something into practice physically if we haven't visualized it first, if we haven't practiced it mentally yet. Okay? Love is not familiar a lot of the times, especially healthy love. Healthy love sometimes feels very uncomfortable at first. It's going to feel weird. It's going to be like, wait, why are you touching me? Why are you so all up in my space right now? Why? Healthy love, right? A lot of the times it's physical touch. Some people don't really like it, but I feel that as you keep healing, you're a little bit more comfortable with physical touch. We'll go into further that of, the 5 love languages and stuff later on, but there is no fear in love, right? Because when you love yourself, you stop being fearful because all you want to do is love yourself, whatever that may look like. So if healthy love is feeling uncomfortable and just weird to you because you've never really experienced it, hold on there. Stay there, okay? Because that's exactly what love is. Love pushes out all fear. And you're going to see that. You're going to understand everything that I'm saying as you keep working on this day and day and day and day and day, right? Day in, day out, every day. You got to work on yourself because it's an everyday thing. It never stops. I don't stop. I don't stop. I wake up early every morning to have my time with myself, but also for me, God. And to make sure that I give you the right tools, to make sure that it's not just my own thoughts like, I make sure that I am at my best. At least I try to. And that's what you just need to focus on, okay? All right. Let's go ahead. Disconnect now. We are done with the first part of the videos, as always. Now we're going to go into the spiritual side of things, which if you don't want to go ahead and hear, you can disconnect now. Peace and love. Wish you all a beautiful day. All right. So the spiritual side of this is, for me, I say spiritual because I'm just talking about God, right? There is a big portion of how I have come to love myself the way that I do because He has taught me. So there's a big thing here where I know I mentioned it in the other episode, the spiritual side one especially, the bonus one, is because if you really want guidance, He's going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you. And from my experience, all He wants is for you to be happy, for you to experience true, healthy love. And if He is love, then it's about you experiencing Him and learning that He loves you. And He wants you to be happy. He wants you to have this smile. You think this smile just came out of nowhere? No. If anybody has known me throughout the years, shoot, have I changed. But for the better. Like, I'm happy, man. Like, I wake up every day and I love on myself. I pour love on myself every day. And I know people are like, is that really true? Is she just bullshitting right now? Or is she just, trying to get this channel going? Or I don't know what your thoughts may be, but I am not bullshitting you. I don't like to lie. My memory kind of sucks too sometimes. I don't spend time the truth always comes out is what I always say. So at the end of the day, I will not bullshit you. This is real. This is true. He has taught me how to love myself. And He's really the one that shows you how to do it. Little by little. The more you tune into Him, into your Maker, right? Whether you want to call Him God or not, the point is into your Maker, He filters out. He helps you do all of those steps that I talk about in the previous thing. He helps you do all of that. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to continue to look for Him, to seek for Him. There are times, I'm not going to lie, where I feel like He's quiet. I'm just there like, okay, I'm talking to a wall. Like, Hey, God, a little bit of help here. I'm trying here. I'm trying to love myself better. And that's all right. That's where your character gets tested. Do you really want this? Because if you do, you're gonna stick around. And whether he's taking a little quiet period, a lot of the times I make scenarios in my head. I'm very like creative and stuff. So I would just be like, all right, well, I took a number, I know you're helping other people and that's fine. And you know what? That must mean that I'm doing great. Because if you're not fully focused on me right now, like you're not giving me your full attention, like I would love that. But I'll take it as a compliment. Like I don't really need you like that there, and I'll be like, but I have my little number though. I'm waiting. Like just play with your head in that sense. Be creative. Make it fun. Make this learning experience of learning how to love yourself and heal and all of this. Like make it into a fun experience. It doesn't have to be always so like serious and like gosh, trauma, that crap beats it beats you up sometimes real bad. So just make it fun, have fun with it. And again, I said it in the other part of the episode, but I think everyone has read it. And if you haven't, you know that love is gonna cast out all fear. It's gonna push it away. Fear and love can't be in the same area. That's just not possible. So eventually you're going to stop being fearful. Whatever is stopping you from loving yourself, whatever is stopping you from progressing in life, love is going to eventually take over and you're going to feel confident enough. The fear is always going to be there because it's always a little shit. It's always going to be talking and talking and talking. The point is your love is more than that. It takes over the fear. That way it doesn't matter what the fear says because you're going to keep going. You're going to keep pushing towards it. And that's the most important thing there. Okay? All right, guys. I love you all. Keep doing what you're doing. Just do your best because that's all you can do, right? All right. Love you all. I know you can do it. I believe in you. Now you start believing in yourself. All right. Good day.